Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button, leave a like down below. I wanted to talk about my wish list for 2K24. Since wrestling news has kind of died off right now, we're kind of in the dead period with all these other releases coming out. AEW has had their latest characters drop, but everybody seems to have moved on from it, at least in the YouTube space. Anyway, so let's talk about 2K24 and my wish list. Now, I know none of these will probably make it, but it's still fun to throw them out there because you never know who's listening. Anyway, so we're going to start with number 11. I had a top 10, but I forgot one that I wanted to add. And number 11 is visual effects. Now, what am I talking about here? In 2K19, they introduced a really cool feature where you could have different visual effects, like, let's say, 8-bit graphics during the matches, which made it really, really hard to see. The old grainy look of watching like a VHS tape, like back in the 80s and stuff, like you're watching an old match. Then they had another one that they took out in the other wrestling games, and that was like a cel-shaded cartoon filter. I freaking love that. It made the whole game look different. It felt like a different game. Like, it felt like you were playing a cartoon, and I used that like exclusively for almost every single match in that game, because I've always wanted a cartoony looking wrestling game, and it looks like we're going to get that with Ultra Pro Wrestling. I love the art style in that, but I think it'd be really cool if 2K would bring this back. I don't know why they took it out. It doesn't hurt the simulation style at all, because it's just an option. Most people probably won't use it, but those of us that would like to use it, it'd be really, really cool to have. And then why not have other ones like inverted, where it takes all the characters and makes them inverted? Why not black and white? I'm pretty sure it did have a black and white filter, but I think they took that out too. Just little extra things to add to the game to make it feel more like a game. I know it's supposed to be a simulation of wrestling. Simulation, I can't talk. But it'd be really cool to just have these little extra features to take it to the next level. You know what I mean? It's a huge game. Lots of different people like it for different reasons. Just add more options. And they took out the funny, like, Minecraft style character creation models too. I don't know why they did that. Anyway, number 10. Speaking of character creation options, more character creation options is number 10. Now, what am I talking about here? Because there's a ton. Well, simple things like, let's say you have horns and you want to place them in a certain spot on your head or have them angled a certain way. You can't do that. They're all in a preset location, and sometimes you can't even get the right color you want based off its preset texture. So since they have the same horns and same head parts and a lot of other same stuff, it'd be nice if you could scale it to the size you want, where you want it, and etc., you know? And really customize the colors. It would be awesome if they had more hair options, because the hair options that are there have been there for years, and they look like crap. They haven't even updated the hair options. It'd be really cool if, when they have DLC characters, that you could actually get the DLC hairstyles. I don't understand why they can't figure that out. It's a video game, just make it scale to the person's head. I mean, I don't know. They're probably worried about clipping issues. They probably couldn't figure out how to get it to work. Like, I want to use, like, what's her name? From Top Dollar. Her name escapes me. She has a really cool hairstyle, and I would love to use that for some of my created characters, but you can't do that. Even some of the creation parts, like their costume parts, like Bray Wyatt's new mask, you can't even use that. And that really sucks, because I think it'd be really cool to use that with other characters and stuff. So simple things like that. Yeah. Number 9. Create an arena. Now, we already have a create an arena, so you're like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about create the entire arena. I'm talking about where the crowd is. Like, let's say you want to put a big, giant dinosaur statue in the middle of the crowd. You should be able to do that. How the crowd is placed, how the stadium, how everything looks from the outside to the inside. I think that'd be a really cool feature. Whether it's an open or closed dome, where the Titantron is actually at, like everything, how the crowd flows. It'd be really cool to have, like, take the crowd, make a design out of the crowd even, like how the chairs are set up. I don't know, I just think that'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to also have the ring set up like at an angle, because everything is so uniform and preset. It really takes away the fun of the creativity that you could possibly have by having a free, do whatever you want sandbox editor for Create an Arena. I think that'd be a really cool idea or addition to the series going forward. Number 8, multiple voices for MyRise/story mode. Now, if you played 2K22 and 2K23 and 2K20 and probably beyond, there's a preset voice for the story mode. Now I get they don't have enough time probably to record all these different voice actors to have you pick, but it'd be really cool if they could figure out a way to have multiple voices and just sign those people for multiple games so you don't have to re-record them every year. Because having one preset voice for your character that sometimes the voice does not match what your character looks like is kind of jarring when you're trying to play through this super overly long story mode. And another thing about that is the story modes are way too long in these games. If they want you to play through them multiple times, you gotta have different voices. Because, if you're playing as different characters and the same voice is playing, it kind of takes you out of it, you know? It's just not fun. Just more voice options would be really, really cool. And they could also have those voice options be used in like exhibition, like when you win, you'd be like, yeah, and offshoot promo and random stuff like that. I just think that'd be a really, really cool addition. Number 7, free control during entrances. No more set animations. Now, I'm going to get flack for this, but these preset, predetermined animations that they've been using since the dawn of the SmackDown series that has become 2K23, they need to go away, in my opinion. I feel like they take up a lot of data, a lot of time every year, because they have to mocap all those entrances, and going through them is a slog. It's like, this one no. You can never quite find the one you really want. Even with the return of the custom create an entrance, which was totally broken. I get them trying to like redo it, but that wasn't it. I feel like it'd be funner and take up less space on the game or in the game if you could just have full control over your character while they're entering the ring, kind of like in the Wrestling Empire game, where you could just come out to the ring, you do taunts, you do whatever you want. They could really make it to where you have special entrance taunts, entrance animations while walking around, like that you activate at certain points, like when you're on the stage, you do this move, right? And you set off fireworks, kind of like in AEW. That simple little tiny entrance scenario they have in AEW is so fun because it's interactive. Like if it wasn't interactive, I'm pretty sure we'd all just turn it off. But that little interactivity goes a long way. So somehow combine that and what Matt M. Dickey did for the Wrestling Empire is, in my opinion, how we evolve entrances. Because most of us probably watch it once or twice, regardless of who it is, or create a character or actual wrestler, and then we probably just skip it or turn it off entirely. Because some of those entrances are pretty damn long. It's like, oh yeah, Triple H's entrance is awesome. Okay, I watched it once, now I'm going to skip it the next 400 times, right? So a way to evolve entrances and clear up a lot of space in that engine and in the game's data centers or whatever the hell, throw all that out. There's way too many. Now I know people would get mad if they threw it all out, so you could have both, but I feel like you just throw it out. Just include this like full control entrance thing. I think it'd be much more fun and more engaging with the player. Number 6, crowd fights anywhere in the arena. I don't know why they took out arena fights. I mean, they have this tiny little section where you can go, there's a few weapons and stuff like that in a false count anywhere match. But I'm talking about like be able to throw them in any part of the arena. Like if you want to go up to the nosebleed section, start beating them up there, you should be able to, and then throw them off the stage, and just have the people down below try to catch them, or just catch them like in a mosh pit. I think that'd be a really cool, fun thing that they could add in. But I don't know. I mean, the mechanics of that must be a nightmare to figure out. But how cool would that be to be able to fight in the entire arena? Then matches wouldn't feel so limited and like you're choked off from the whole arena. You can only wrestle in where the ring's at in the Titantron, and then the rest of it is just all blocked off. It'd be really cool if they expanded upon it and truly made it feel like this giant sandbox arena that you could fight anywhere in. That'd be really, really fun. Let's see here. Number 5. New/old countering system. No more 5-button counter. No more 5 different counter buttons. It's getting a little ridiculous now. You got a counter for weak strike, strong counter for strong strike, counter for Irish whip, counter for finishers. You got all these different buttons to counter, and it's just getting insane. They really need to simplify it. They figured this out back in the GameCube and PS2 era, and I don't know why they were trying to fix it, or why they changed it. It's like, oh, we're trying to make it more dynamic and different and blah blah blah. Just go back to the old school. We figured this out. Perfect system. 1 counter for strikes, 1 counter for grapples, and then double click both to counter finishers. It works. Don't change it. I don't know why you guys feel like you have to mess with that every single year. Anyway, so go back to basics with the countering system. Like I said, they figured this out years ago. I don't know why they got so far away from it. Number 4. Revamped controls to feel more like a wrestling game. Now they've kind of strayed off of the wrestling experience, and now it feels more like a fighting game with wrestling moves in it, with all these combo breakers and finishers, and the way they have it structured, it just doesn't feel like a wrestling game anymore. I don't know what it feels like, because it doesn't feel like a fighting game either. It just feels like this hosh-posh thing that just doesn't flow well. And when you're doing matches, especially in 2K23, it feels like you're fighting the limitations of what you can do during every single match. Like, you have to set them up this certain way to get this done. Like, throwing them through a table is such a pain in the ass. You have to, have a finisher to throw him through it. You can't just throw him up on the table and throw his ass through it. Nope. You have to have a finisher, or you have to have that move actually set on your character's move list, or you can't even throw him through a damn table. The announce table, anyway. I mean, in the match, yeah, you can throw him through tables and stuff like that, but everything, like I said, has to be set up so perfectly that it doesn't give a lot of room for experimentation and discovery, kind of like in the old wrestling games did, like the like the WrestleMania 19s, the Day of Reckonings, even AEW Fight Forever. It has random stuff that you can do that makes the game feel a lot more open. So just don't make everything feel so controlled, and really fix the controls to where it's simplified again. Like, they kind of went a little overboard with these combo moves and stuff like that. Just have weak strike, strong strike, weak grapple, strong grapple, and your counter system. And then I think it was, SmackDown vs. Raw 07 had the dynamic pickup moves that you could do with the joystick. Bring that back. I feel like that was the biggest evolution they ever did, and then they started messing with it and screwed it up. Go that route. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, really need to fix the controls. Now, number 3, theme maker. Like your own entrance theme. I don't know why, after all these years, they've never implemented this, especially now with the inclusion of the internet. Like, they can approach it like they do with the image creator. It's a third, you go to their website, you upload the image there, and then it shows up on your game. Well, in the same vein as, let's say, Action Arcade Wrestling with their separate utility for creating wrestlers, they could do that for music. And going that route would be really, really cool, because then you could take whatever you create in that thing, and they could have it universally work for the next 10 years of wrestling games. It doesn't have to just work for this one game. See, if they put this in the game itself, then they'd have to try to put it in each game. By having it as a third party, or a separate utility on, let's say, their website, or just a program they can team up with where you make your own themes, then they could use it indefinitely. So I think it'd be really, really cool if we could go to a website, make our themes, and then import those themes into the game via the 2K website. Because unfortunately, unlike the 360 and the PS3, where we could upload songs to the internal hard drive and then just have it get the music off of the hard drive, they don't allow that anymore, because they want you to use apps now for all the music, which really sucks because it feels more limited. This would be a great way to get themes back in the game, and I think that's probably the only way to do it. So anyway, a theme maker would really, really be cool. And then for those of us that don't know how to make music, then you can import songs that way. An easy way not to get sued by these music creators is it's just whatever people put in there, right? Anyway, I don't know how that would work, but I think my idea held merit. Number 2. Now, I've been harping on this for every single wrestling game for years, is full body morphing. Like back in 2K15, when they decided to change everything, they kind of screwed up how we make our characters. There's no more you can totally manipulate every part of the body. Now you're stuck with preset character models, and I think they did this to make sure all the creation parts fit, universally. But it really limits the creativity of making characters look like they're supposed to. Let's say you want to make someone from wrestling's past that you want them to look exactly like that wrestler. It's almost impossible because their body type might not be in there. Like, let's say you want to make Earthquake. I'm pretty sure you can't make him. Let's say you want to make, what's a good example? What's her name? The Beautiful People. You can't make them because they don't have that particular body set. It's just, you need the body morphing to truly make the wrestlers you want to make. And it annoys me they took this out. Now, number 1, and this feature is what I built this whole channel around, and I haven't really got to use it because it's always glitched, it always crashes, and I lose all the work I've been doing trying to get it done. I've been trying to do it since 2K20, which is when I originally tried to start this channel. And every year it's still broken, and then when they try to update it throughout the game's life, they break it even more, or it resets something, so I have to start all over, and I just don't have the time or care to do it anymore. So, and that's a revamped universe mode. Now, what they have now currently is so screwed up. I think the only thing they can do is just throw it all away and start from scratch. The current universe mode allows you to have every single show throughout the week and throughout the month, and you can either play through them all, simulate them all, you can change who's on the roster and all sorts of stuff. I think a way they could fix this to restart, because I know they only have so much time, is in universe mode, instead of picking or have the entire of WWE there and making your own show on a certain night, just have you play as one show, and you can do whatever the heck you want on that one show. And whether it be an original show with all your arena and everything, or it be, let's say, Monday Night Raw, NXT, and then just have multiple save slots, and you can play through all the different matches that way. I think the current setup is just too complex and too crazy for them to figure out with this limited time they have each year, because they have to redo the showcase mode, they have to redo the My Rise mode, and by the time they're done with that, they don't have time to fix universe mode and all these other modes. They just don't have time to fix it. So I think the only way to fix universe mode is to start from scratch and then build off of it that way. So to start, for the first year, you can only play through one match. I know a lot of people would be super pissed about that, but then by doing so, you can really have the cutscenes, the story building, all the stuff that you really, really want in a universe mode, the promos, everything. They can even have the voice acting, like I said earlier, in that mode for all your created characters. It'd be so cool to just more options, but less of a scale, if that makes sense. So, sure, it's only the one show, but you can do everything. Like, you can do just custom story, rivalries, all sorts of stuff, rather than have this entire thing where you just endlessly simulate matches and it screws up halfway through, right? And then have the same options list that it has now, but just have the one show. So the game itself doesn't have to worry about simulating 20 different shows going on at the same time, and then a pay-per-view. I think it'd be a lot less stressful on the game's code and the developers to do this at the start and start from scratch. And then every year, let's say the following year, it's 2 shows, right? And then the year after that, it's 3 shows. And then the year after that, it's a week. And then the year after that, it's 2 weeks. And then you just build off of that until you get back to where you were, but with this new engine and everything else, so it's all fixed. I think that's the only way to fix it. I'm no game designer, but I think that's probably the best course of action. You're going to piss off a lot of people at first, but I think in the long run it would work out. Anyway, what are some things you would like to see fixed? Sorry for me rambling on here. This video lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but I feel like this is a good list to start with. I doubt any of these will happen in 2K24. I feel 2K24 is going to be the exact same game as 2K23, but with new menus, cut wrestlers, a few new wrestlers. Who knows? I seriously, maybe one new match type. I seriously doubt we're going to get any major changes, and that kind of sucks. I would just settle for the exact same game, but working 100%. Like, no issues. I would settle for that. I know that people will be pissed, but I just want a working game. Anyway, sound off in the comments below. What are some things you would like to see added in 2K24? As always, thank you for watching, and stay frosty.